All right, ready to dive into something totally mind-blowing. Today, parallel universes.
Oh, yeah.
But not the sci-fi kind.
Okay.
The real science behind this wild idea.
Cool.
We'll be using excerpts from the ebook Parallel Universes and Multiverse Theories to navigate this incredibly complex landscape.
It is a fascinating area.
Yeah.
It's where cutting-edge physics meets profound philosophical questions.
Exactly. So by the end of this deep dive,
Okay.
you should have a good grasp,
I'm ready.
not just of the different types of parallel universes that physicists are theorizing about,
Okay.
but also a feel for the evidence, or at least the clues
Gotcha.
that suggest they might actually exist. And of course, we've got to tackle those huge implications.
Of course.
What does it mean for us if reality is so much bigger than we ever imagined?
It certainly challenges our understanding of everything,
Yeah.
from the nature of existence to the concept of free will.
Yeah.
It's a big question.
Let's start by grounding ourselves in the history of this idea.
Okay.
You know, the concept of alternate realities isn't exactly new, is it?
It is not.
We find echoes of it
Right.
in ancient myths and stories from all over the world.
It seems like humans have always been fascinated with the idea of other worlds. Mirror realities.
Yeah.
Hidden dimensions.
Absolutely. But what's so intriguing
Right.
is how this ancient fascination has morphed into something that modern science is grappling with.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just talking about philosophical musings anymore.
It's gone way beyond that.
Yeah, we're talking about theories that are rooted
Yes.
in fields like quantum mechanics and cosmology.
These theories are being developed by physicists and cosmologists who are trying to make sense of some of the most fundamental mysteries of the universe.
Okay, so let's get to the heart of it
Okay.
and talk about the different types of multiverses that theorists have proposed. The ebook we're using lays out 4 main ones, and each one is kind of mind-blowing in its own way.
Yeah.
I think we should start with the one that people might be most familiar with,
Makes sense.
the Quantum Multiverse.
This one is closely linked to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics.
So if I understand this correctly, this interpretation suggests that every quantum event, every decision, every possible outcome that could have happened but didn't, each one branches off into a new universe.
Yeah.
It's like a constantly expanding tree of infinite possibilities.
Right. That's a good way to visualize it.
Yeah.
In the quantum multiverse, there's a universe for every path not taken.
Wow.
Every decision made.
So there's a universe out there where I actually did become that rock star.
And another one?
Oh, no.
Where you made every other possible decision?
I'm already feeling dizzy.
It's a lot.
Okay, so we've got infinite branching universes based on quantum events.
Yeah.
What about the inflationary multiverse? I remember reading about that.
All right.
It's this idea that our universe is just one bubble
Yes.
in a vast cosmic foam of universes.
The inflationary multiverse stems from the theory of cosmic inflation.
Okay.
This theory suggests that in the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang,
Wow.
the universe underwent a period of incredibly rapid expansion.
So like a cosmic growth spurt.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is that according to eternal inflation theory,
Yeah.
this expansion might not have been uniform.
Okay.
Different regions of space
Right.
could have inflated at different rates, eventually leading to the formation of separate bubble universes.
So our universe,
Yes.
with all its galaxies and stars and planets,
Right.
it's just one of these bubbles.
That's the idea.
Wow.
And each bubble universe might have its own unique set of physical laws and constants.
Wow, that is wild. So gravity might work differently in another universe.
It's theoretically possible.
Or the speed of light might be different.
The laws of physics, as we understand them,
Right.
might be just one particular set of rules
Okay.
operating within our bubble.
My mind is officially blown.
I know it's a lot.
Now this next one, the Brane Multiverse.
Yeah.
This one always gets me because it involves string theory.
String theory is where things get really interesting.
I know.
It proposes that the universe is made up of tiny, vibrating strings,
Okay.
and that there are more dimensions than we can perceive.
Right. Like way more dimensions
Exactly.
than our usual 3 spatial dimensions plus time.
And in the Brane Multiverse model,
Okay.
our universe is pictured as a 3-dimensional brane,
Right.
kind of like a sheet floating in this higher dimensional space.
Hmm.
And there could be countless other branes out there,
So many.
other universes,
Wow.
perhaps even interacting,
Oh, wow.
colliding with each other.
So our universe might be brushing up against other universes. I can't even begin to picture what that would be like.
It's a truly mind-boggling concept.
I know.
And string theory
Yeah.
is still very much a work in progress,
Right.
but it offers some intriguing possibilities for explaining the multiverse.
Okay, now we have to tackle the last one on our list.
Okay.
And it's the one that makes me question everything.
Right.
The simulated multiverse.
This one is more speculative than the others,
Okay.
but it's gained a lot of attention in recent years.
It all boils down to this question, right?
Get on me.
What if our reality is just a super advanced computer simulation?
Okay, yeah.
And if it is,
Right.
could there be other simulations running alongside ours?
Right.
Maybe created by beings within our simulation?
It's a dizzying idea.
I know.
And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
if we are living in a simulation,
Uh-huh.
who are the simulators?
Yeah. I mean,
what are their motive?
It's almost too much to even contemplate.
There's a lot.
But okay, we've got these 4 main types of multiverses,
right,
each with its own set of rules and implications. And I think it's important to remember that these are just some of the leading theories out there, right?
Absolutely.
New theories are constantly emerging as our understanding of physics evolves.
It's an incredibly dynamic field with new ideas and interpretations constantly being debated and explored.
So we've got these different types of multiverses that theorists have come up with.
Okay.
But what's the actual science behind this?
Right.
What makes physicists even consider the possibility of parallel universes in the first place?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the answer, surprisingly enough, lies at the heart of modern physics. Quantum mechanics.
Quantum mechanics. That's the science of the very, very small, right?
Exactly.
Atoms and particles and all that.
And quantum mechanics is notoriously weird and counterintuitive.
Okay.
Things behave very differently at the subatomic level.
Right.
Compared to the world we experience.
So what about the quantum world hints at the possibility of parallel universes?
One of the key concepts is wave function superposition.
Okay. In simple terms.
Right.
What does that mean?
Imagine a single particle.
Okay.
Now, in the quantum world, this particle doesn't exist in one definite state until it's measured.
Right.
Instead, it exists in a superposition of all possible states at the same time.
So it's like it's in multiple places at once.
That's a good analogy.
Okay.
It's not that we just don't know where it is until we measure it. It's that it actually exists in multiple states simultaneously.
Okay, so how does that connect to parallel universes?
Here's where the many worlds interpretation comes in.
Okay.
This interpretation was developed by physicist Hugh Everett back in the 1950s. And it suggests that each of those possible states that a particle can be in actually corresponds to a separate branching universe.
So instead of the particle randomly choosing one state when we measure it, all those possibilities actually happen, just in different universes.
And every time a quantum measurement is made, the universe splits.
Oh my goodness.
Creating a new branch for each possible outcome.
So we're talking about an almost infinite number of universes constantly branching off from each other, all because of these tiny quantum events happening all the time.
That's the essence of the many worlds interpretation.
Wow. So the quantum world, with its bizarre rules and behaviors, is basically hinting at the existence of a multiverse.
It's one way to interpret the strangeness of quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
And it's a very compelling interpretation for many physicists.
Okay. I think I need a moment to process all of that.
It's a lot to take in.
So we've got the quantum realm suggesting the possibility of a multiverse. But what about the really big picture? Cosmology.
Yeah.
Does the study of the universe as a whole offer any support for this idea?
It does.
Really?
And in fact, some cosmological theories provide even more support for the concept of a multiverse.
Okay, tell me more.
All right.
This is where I start to feel like I'm at the edge of what we know about reality.
One of the key pieces of evidence comes from the theory of cosmic inflation.
Right.
Which we talked about earlier. Remember how the universe went through this massive expansion right after the Big Bang?
Right, like a cosmic growth spurt?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And according to eternal inflation theory, this rapid expansion didn't happen just once.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process.
Oh, wow.
With different regions of space constantly inflating and creating new bubble universes.
So our universe is just one bubble.
That's the idea.
Among countless others, all constantly popping into existence.
And what's really interesting
oh my goodness.
is that each bubble universe could have its own unique properties, including different physical laws and constants.
So what we think of as the laws of physics, the fundamental rules of the game, might just be local rules.
Exactly.
Wow.
They might be specific to our bubble universe, while other universes could have completely different rules governing their behavior.
That's just incredible.
It is.
I'm starting to see how cosmology and quantum mechanics, these two seemingly disparate fields, are converging to paint a picture of a much larger and more complex reality than we ever imagined.
It is a remarkable convergence.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop there.
Really?
String theory, which we touched on earlier, also provides support for the multiverse concept.
String theory, that's the one with all the extra dimensions, right?
That's right.
Okay.
String theory proposes that the universe has more dimensions than we can perceive.
More than the 3 spatial dimensions we experience. I'm not sure I can wrap my head around that.
It is a difficult concept to grasp.
I know.
But these extra dimensions, if they exist,
could
provide the framework for other universes to exist parallel to our own.
Okay, so our 3-dimensional universe might just be a tiny sliver of a much larger, higher dimensional reality where other universes are also floating around.
It's wild, isn't it?
All right, so we've got quantum mechanics, cosmology, and string theory, all hinting at the existence of a multiverse.
Seems that way.
It's a lot to take in.
I know.
But before we get too carried away, I have to ask,
what is it?
Is there any real evidence for these multiverse theories?
$1 million question.
Or is it all just theoretical speculation?
That's the crucial question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one that scientists are actively trying to answer.
So are there any clues, any hints that suggest other universes might actually be out there?
Well, it's tricky.
Okay.
By its very nature. The multiverse is thought to be beyond our direct observation.
So how do you test something that you can't see or interact with?
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
However, there are a few tantalizing clues
that
scientists are exploring.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Very good.
What are these clues?
One of the most intriguing pieces of potential evidence comes from studying the cosmic microwave background radiation.
I remember hearing about that, the CMB.
Right.
That's like the afterglow of the Big Bang, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a faint radiation that pervades all of space.
Right.
And it's like a baby picture of the universe, showing us what it looked like.
Okay.
About 380,000 years after the Big Bang.
So what does the CMB tell us about other universes?
Well, scientists have observed some strange anomalies in the CMB. Things like unexplained cold spots.
Interesting.
And patterns that don't quite fit with
with
our current understanding of cosmology.
anomalies, so like glitches in the cosmic matrix.
You could say that.
Okay.
And some physicists believe that these anomalies could be evidence of interactions with other universes.
Wow.
Perhaps collisions
wow.
between our bubble universe and others,
Right.
leaving behind these subtle imprints
Okay.
in the CMB.
So we might be seeing the echoes of cosmic billiards matches between universes.
It's a possibility that scientists are taking very seriously.
Wow.
And it's one of the most compelling pieces of evidence we have for the multiverse so far.
That's incredible.
It is.
So we've got these cosmic microwave background anomalies hinting at the existence of other universes. Are there any other clues out there?
Another fascinating avenue of exploration comes from quantum experiments themselves. As our ability to manipulate and observe quantum systems improves, we're seeing even stranger and more counterintuitive behavior.
Okay, can you give me an example?
Sure.
Yeah.
Consider the phenomena of quantum entanglement, where two particles become linked in such a way that they share the same fate, no matter how far apart they are.
So it's like they're telepathically connected.
In a sense, yes.
Wow.
And the truly baffling thing
What's that?
is that this connection seems to operate instantaneously, faster than the speed of light,
Right.
which really challenges our understanding of causality and locality.
So how does entanglement relate to the multiverse?
Well, some physicists believe
Yeah.
that entanglement could be evidence of particles interacting across different universes.
Wow.
Perhaps these entangled particles are actually different facets of the same particle,
Oh, wow.
existing in different brandings of the multiverse.
Yeah. So it's like these particles are reaching across the boundaries of reality
It's wild.
to maintain their connection.
It's a mind-boggling
Oh,
possibility,
yeah.
but one that some physicists are taking very seriously.
Okay, so we've got these cosmic background radiation anomalies and this quantum entanglement weirdness.
Yep.
Anything else?
Well, there's one more line of evidence,
Okay.
though it's more philosophical in nature.
All right.
It has to do with the fine-tuning of the universe.
Fine-tuning.
Yes.
Okay.
It turns out that the fundamental constants of physics,
Okay.
things like the strength of gravity, the speed of light,
Right.
and the mass of elementary particles,
Okay.
seem incredibly fine-tuned
Hmm.
to allow for the existence of stars,
Right.
galaxies,
Yeah.
and life as we know it.
So if those values were even slightly different,
Exactly.
the universe would be a completely different place.
It might be a lifeless void,
Oh, wow.
or it might have collapsed upon itself moments after the Big Bang.
Wow, so we're incredibly lucky
You could say that.
to live in a universe where the conditions are just right
Yeah.
for our existence.
But the multiverse offers another perspective
Right.
on this fine-tuning problem.
Okay, how does the multiverse explain it?
Well, one way to address this apparent fine-tuning
Okay.
is to propose that there are countless universes out there,
Wow.
each with different values for the fundamental constants.
So it's like a cosmic lottery.
That's one way to think about it.
And we just happen to win the jackpot universe.
In this scenario,
Yeah.
most universes would be lifeless and inhospitable,
Right.
but a tiny fraction, like ours, would have the right conditions for life to emerge.
It's a pretty wild concept,
It is.
but it does offer a potential explanation for why our universe seems so perfectly suited for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons
Right.
why the multiverse hypothesis has become so popular among some scientists.
So we've got quantum weirdness, clues from the cosmos,
Yep.
and philosophical arguments.
Yeah.
All suggesting
It would seem so.
that our universe might not be alone.
It's a lot to think about, right?
This is pretty heavy stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's also incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
It makes you realize
Yeah.
that we're just at the beginning
Yeah.
of understanding the true nature of reality.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From the different types of multiverses
Right.
to the tantalizing clues that suggest they might actually exist.
It's been quite a journey so far.
It has.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've only just scratched the surface
Of course.
of this incredibly deep and complex topic.
Definitely.
And I think it's time we start grappling with some of the most profound implications of this multiverse idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If we accept the possibility of a multiverse, it completely changes our perspective
Yeah.
on existence, free will,
Right.
maybe even ethics.
Okay. I'm ready to go there.
Let's dive into the deep end of the philosophical pool.
Let's do it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, if we truly embrace the idea of a multiverse, it really does shift our entire perspective on existence.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around that because what does it mean to exist?
Yep.
You know, if our universe, with its billions of galaxies, is just a tiny speck
All right.
in a much grander reality.
It makes you wonder what else might be out there, right? What kinds of universes,
Yeah.
what kinds of laws of physics might exist? What forms of life
Right.
might have evolved in these other realities?
It's both humbling and awe-inspiring at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, the universe we know,
right?
A universe we thought was everything,
yeah,
might just be one tiny piece,
right,
of an incomprehensibly larger puzzle.
And it goes beyond just, you know,
yeah,
the structure of reality.
Yeah.
The existence of a multiverse
Yeah.
really makes you question
Yeah.
even the concept of free will.
Free will. How does the multiverse change how we think about that? Let's go back to the many worlds interpretation for a moment.
Okay.
If every possible quantum outcome
right.
spawns a new universe,
Yeah.
there are countless versions of you out there,
Oh, wow.
making every possible choice at every moment.
So there's a universe where I chose a completely different career path.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a chef in one universe.
Right.
And an astronaut in another.
Exactly. In the vast tapestry of the multiverse,
Bro.
every possible version of you exists. And every choice you could have made has been made by some version of you.
But if every possible choice is already being made,
right.
does that mean my choices in this universe don't really matter?
Right.
Does that take away my free will?
It's a question that has puzzled philosophers and physicists alike.
I can see why.
Some argue
that
the multiverse actually enhances the concept of free will.
Really?
Because it means that all possibilities are being realized.
I'm not sure I follow that.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
In a single universe, our choices might be constrained by circumstances.
Right.
By chance.
Yeah.
By the laws of physics.
Right.
But in a multiverse, all those limitations are lifted. Every potential choice you could have made is actually being made by some version of you.
Wow.
In some other reality.
So in a way, all of my potential is being lived out somewhere.
Right.
That's kind of a comforting thought.
It's a perspective that some find liberating.
I bet.
But of course, other philosophers argue that the multiverse undermines free will.
Right.
If every choice
Yeah.
is already being made by some version of you, then your decisions in this universe
Right.
might seem less meaningful.
It's like, why bother making choices if all the choices are already being made somewhere else?
Yeah, it's a real head scratcher.
It is. It is.
It definitely challenges our understanding
Yeah.
of individuality and agency.
Right.
But this is where the discussion gets really interesting. Because it's not just about the nature of existence
Right.
and free will.
Yeah.
It's also about the ethical implications of a multiverse.
Ethics. Okay, I'm curious. How does the multiverse change our understanding of right and wrong?
Here's one line of thinking that emerges.
Mm.
If every possible outcome plays out in some universe, does that affect our sense of responsibility for our actions in this particular universe?
So if there's a universe where I'm a terrible person, does that somehow excuse my bad behavior in this universe?
That's not quite the argument.
Okay.
But it does raise some difficult questions.
Right, like what?
For example, if we knew that there were universes where suffering was far greater than anything we experience here, would we feel a greater obligation to alleviate suffering in our own universe?
That's a profound question. And on the flip side, what if we knew there were universes where everyone was happy and living in utopia? Would that diminish our efforts to make this world a better place?
It's a complex issue.
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer.
Right.
But the multiverse forces us to confront these questions in a new light.
I see that.
It challenges our assumptions about morality and responsibility.
This whole conversation is making me realize how much our understanding of the universe is tied to our understanding of ourselves.
I think so too.
It's not just about physics and cosmology. It's about what it means to be human.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the most powerful aspects of multiverse theories.
Okay.
They force us to ask these really fundamental questions.
Right.
About existence consciousness and our place in the grand scheme of things.
It's a lot to process, I have to admit.
It is.
But before we get too lost in the philosophical implications, we need to address something that's been lingering in the back of my mind.
You mean the fact that all of this is still very much in the realm of speculation?
Exactly. We've been talking about these mind-blowing theories and intriguing clues, but we haven't found definitive proof
of course
that any of this is real.
That's right. It's important to acknowledge that multiverse theories are still on the cutting edge of scientific exploration.
So what are the major criticisms or challenges that these theories face? Why aren't all scientists convinced?
One of the biggest challenges is the issue of falsifiability.
Can you remind me what that means in a scientific context?
Sure. Falsifiability is a core principle of the scientific method.
Right.
It means that for a theory to be considered scientific, it needs to be testable.
Okay.
There has to be a way to potentially disprove it.
So you need to be able to design an experiment that could show your theory is wrong.
Precisely. And that's where things get tricky with the multiverse.
Yeah.
By its very nature.
Right.
The multiverse is thought to be beyond our direct observation.
So how do you test something that you can't see or interact with?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Some physicists argue that the multiverse is inherently untestable and therefore not truly within the realm of science.
So it's more of a philosophical concept than a scientific theory.
That's a view held by some critics. But other physicists argue that even if we can't directly observe other universes, we might be able to find indirect evidence for their existence.
Like the anomalies in the cosmic microwave background that we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Those anomalies could be interpreted as subtle hints of interactions with other universes. And as our understanding of physics and cosmology evolves, we might develop new ways to test these theories.
So while the multiverse is difficult to test, Right.
It's not entirely outside the realm of scientific inquiry.
Right. And it's important to remember that many scientific ideas that are now widely accepted were once considered highly speculative.
It's like the idea of atoms. Once upon a time, people couldn't imagine that matter was made up of these tiny, invisible particles.
Exactly.
But eventually, we developed the tools and the experiments to prove their existence.
So while the multiverse might seem like a wild idea today, who knows what the future holds for our understanding of this concept?
Well, I, for one, am excited to see where this research leads.
I too.
But beyond the question of falsifiability, are there other criticisms of multiverse theories?
Yes. There are also some philosophical concerns about the very idea of infinite realities.
What kind of concerns?
Some philosophers argue that the concept of an infinite multiverse is simply incoherent. They say it leads to logical paradoxes and undermines our ability
to make sense of the world.
So if every possible outcome occurs in some universe, then does anything truly matter? Does it make choice meaningless?
That's one of the concerns. Others worry that the idea of a multiverse is just too extravagant. An explanation for the phenomena we observe.
It's like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They argue that we should stick with simpler, more testable theories until we have more compelling evidence for the multiverse.
Occam's razor, right.
Exactly.
The simplest explanation is usually the best.
Precisely. So, while the multiverse is a fascinating concept,
it is.
It's definitely not without its critics.
Right.
And the debate about its validity is likely to continue for a long time.
It sounds like even within the scientific and philosophical communities, there's no clear consensus on the multiverse.
That's true. It's a highly contested idea.
Right.
But I think that's what makes it so captivating. It pushes the boundaries of what we know and what we can even imagine.
It definitely makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality.
It certainly does. And I think that's a good thing.
Right.
It's a reminder that there's still so much we don't know about the universe and our place within it.
Well, I have to say, this entire conversation has been incredibly thought-provoking.
I agree.
We've explored the different types of multiverses, the scientific evidence for and against them, and the mind-boggling implications for our understanding of existence, free will, and even ethics.
It's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
And we've only just begun to scratch the surface of this complex and fascinating topic.
Exactly. And I think the next step is to delve even deeper into those implications. If we entertain the possibility that the multiverse is real, what does that mean for our understanding of ourselves and our relationship to the universe?
It's a question that takes us to the very heart of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And I think it's a question worth exploring in more depth.
Absolutely. So let's take a deep breath and dive into the philosophical and existential waters of the multiverse.
Let's do it.
You know, if we really accept the possibility of a multiverse, it kind of reframes the entire human experience, doesn't it?
In a way, yeah.
I mean, all of human history, all of our triumphs and tragedies, everything we've ever known, it's all happening in this one universe. But if there are countless other universes out there, what does that mean for the significance of our own existence?
It's a humbling thought, isn't it? Our entire universe, with all its vastness and complexity, might be just one tiny bubble in an endless sea of possibilities.
And it's not just about the physical scale of things, you know? It's about the very idea of who we are. If there are infinite versions of me out there making every imaginable choice,
does that diminish the me that exists in this universe?
It's a question that goes straight to the core of identity. What makes us unique? What defines our sense of self if all possible versions of ourselves already exist somewhere out there?
We've talked about the implications for free will. And that's a mind-bending concept in itself.
For sure.
But this question of identity is really hitting me hard.
I can see that.
It makes me wonder if there's anything truly special or significant about our individual experiences. Or if we're just one tiny thread in a cosmic tapestry that's so vast and intricate that we can't even comprehend its true nature.
It's a bit dizzying, isn't it?
It is.
To think that all our hopes and dreams, all our struggles and achievements might be playing out in countless variations across the multiverse.
But maybe there's another way to look at it. Maybe.
How so? Instead of seeing the multiverse as diminishing the importance of our own lives, maybe it actually amplifies it.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, if everything that can happen does happen in some universe, then our choices, our actions in this universe become even more meaningful.
Because they're the choices that define this particular reality, this particular set of experiences.
Exactly. And maybe that's the key to reconciling ourselves with the idea of a multiverse. It's not about diminishing our own significance. It's about recognizing the unique and precious nature of this particular universe, this particular set of traces and experiences that we're having right now.
It's a shift in perspective from feeling insignificant to feeling incredibly fortunate to be a part of this particular unfolding of reality.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like instead of feeling lost in an infinite sea of possibilities, we're choosing to focus on the beauty and complexity of the wave we're riding right now.
And maybe that's the lesson.
Right.
The multiverse is trying to teach us to appreciate the uniqueness of our own reality, to make the most of the choices we have, and to find meaning and purpose in the midst of this incredible, potentially infinite existence.
This has been such a mind-expanding conversation.
It has been.
We've explored the different types of multiverses, the scientific evidence for and against them, and grappled with the profound implications of a reality that might be far larger and more complex than we ever imagined.
It's been a privilege to explore these ideas with you.
To you, our listener, I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, challenged your assumptions,
and left you with a sense of awe and wonder about the nature of reality.
I think so.
And even if it turns out that our universe is all there is, I think the very act of contemplating the multiverse can change how we see ourselves and the world around us.
It opens our minds to new possibilities, new ways of thinking, and a deeper appreciation for the mystery and beauty of existence itself.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
So keep questioning. Keep exploring.
Keep wondering.
And never lose that sense of wonder.
It's important.
We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the mysteries of the universe.
I'm looking forward to it.
Until then, keep looking up at the stars and wondering what might be out there.